Hello, welcome to my channel. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ozzy, and for those of you returning, welcome back. So in today's video, I wanted to give my unsolicited... Okay, let's run that back. So in today's video, I wanted to give you my unsolicited advice on how to shop because I've been shopping with my mom since I was a wee chap, and she taught me the fundamentals of how to be a frugal, smart buyer. So come on, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to say, I know it can be overwhelming when you're going into a store or going online shopping. You're just like, there's so many options. I just have no idea. I'm just overwhelmed. They're there. Your girl is here. One of the first things on my list on how to be a good shopper would be to go through your wardrobe and make notes of things that you wish you had or things that you think you need in your wardrobe while you're getting dressed. Like for example, you're about to go hang out with your friends and you're like, damn, I wish I had an off the shoulder top. Go grab your phone, put that shit in your notes, be like, things that I need to buy. I think as well as when you're just like scrolling on TikTok, Instagram or whatever, and you see an article of clothing that piques your interest, you should also make note of that, just so you can kind of get an idea of when you go into the shop, you'd be like, oh, I like these kind of items, or like I've noticed from this particular brand that I really like this. So you go into that store and you're like, hey, do you have this in store? Or do you have anything like this that I can get? So it's kind of like you already go into the store knowing exactly the kind of items you want or you need to buy. So you're already looking for something in particular. So then you're not just like, oh, going in there aimlessly and you're like, oh, I didn't find a single thing, but there's a whole rack of clothes. You know, as we know, fast fashion is it's reducing the quality of clothes. So I think it's really important when you're shopping to be aware of the kind of fabrics that you should be on the lookout for and things and fabrics that you should avoid. So like a little crash course for us would be reading fabric tags, you know, seeing how much an item is made out of, the percentage, like, you know, 100% polyester, wool, cotton, blase, right? So there's natural fibers versus synthetic fibers. So think natural would be wool, cotton, and then synthetic fibers would be polyester, rayon, and viscose. I've never heard the pronunciation of that word, but I have seen it, but I have seen polyester and rayon a lot. So the quality of clothing drops immensely, but the quality of clothing drops a lot depending on the amount of synthetic / natural fiber the article of clothing is made out of, because there's sometimes like 98% cotton and then like 2% rayon or whatever. If any time you buy an article of clothing and the natural fibers is below 80%, do not pick it up. Don't pick it up. A way that you can combat this is by inspecting your garments. So what you can do is you can like wrinkle clothing, and if it doesn't retain any shape, put it down, or if it doesn't retain any wrinkles, put it down. And then if you wrinkle it again and it just stays wrinkly, and doesn't naturally, you know, loosen up or whatever, put it down. And then also being able to hold fabric to the light and then seeing how well it's woven and how much give the item has, you know, the stretch and how it retains stretch. There's also something to note that low quality thin cotton will give a lot of let through and let in lots of light versus higher quality cotton. So like thicker the better. So things to look out for, good quality clothing. So we're looking at seams, we're looking at buttons, we're looking at stitching. Lower quality garments have the hem turned up and sewn in place with the row of stitching fully available. And this doesn't hold well because once garment starts to stretch or relax, it causes the hem to pucker and fold the way along the hemline. And then high quality garments usually finish in a way that lets the garment keep its shape. When shopping for a jacket or a coat, you should be on the lookout for a center back seam. Jackets that are of higher quality will more than likely have a center back seam versus brands that are like Zara or, you know, H&M. They will skip out on the center back hem because it's means of cutting corners, keeping costs low, and to be able to produce like, you know, higher numbers but lowering the quality. And then another thing, button down shirts should have a shoulder yoke if it does, and then shoulder yokes, they usually sit sit neatly and flatly, and then cheaper quality and down shirts, you tend to not have shoulder yokes and make it kind of look not as neat and not as nice. Also buttonholes, they need to be stitched pretty tidy, and it allows them to be reinforced so they don't rip and it'll just last longer. And reinforced holes are usually stiffer so they're not unevenly pulling out fabric. And then moving on from looking at quality of clothing, I would say another tip for how to shop is to carry your measurements on you so you know what size you are with different brands and different stores, because you could be a size small at this place but you're a medium here, and it just really fluctuates because every brand, every store, not every store, but every brand does have different sizing charts. It really does vary. So I feel like if you can go to Victoria's Secret, get your bust if you don't know how to do that, or if you literally have a measuring tape, watch a video on YouTube, TikTok, like literally how to measure myself, how to measure my waist, you know? And then literally just keep it in your notes, keep it in your Google Docs, Words, it doesn't matter, just keep it on you. So you know for whenever you go shopping, you'll be like, oh, their sizing chart is between X inches to X inches. I fall in between this, you know? Trying clothes out in the stores, you have to. I simply do not care, especially if they have a fitting room that's open. You need to know if this is gonna fit you. You need to know if you're gonna like it. Don't just buy things just to buy it. We have to be mindful consumers. We are shopping smart. So that's why we're watching this video. But yeah, I really don't care what your excuse is, especially if the fitting room's open. Also, you can wear clothes over you. That's literally what I do. Also, figuring out your silhouette and knowing what clothes accentuate that and also just complement you more, because not everything is going to make you look the best, if that makes sense, just because, you know, there's things meant for different certain body types, and I feel it is important to figure out how to dress for yourself. Oh, and another thing, I think this is the last thing on my list, would just have to be go to the clearance, the sale section first. See what the stores are trying to get rid of, because you will find some bangers. Don't be afraid to go to department stores like Nordstrom Rack, Nordstrom, Macy's, JCPenney's, because they sell pretty good brands if you want to go into like the store in person, like the mall or outlet mall or something like that. That's what I would recommend. But those are some of my tips on how to shop. I feel like it has done me well. I don't really return clothes because I have a really big brain, and I know if I don't like it then, I'm not gonna like it now. That's my video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope this resonated with you. I hope you guys got some tips and tricks on how to, tips and tricks, right? Tips and tricks on how to shop. And I hope you liked the video. Appreciate you for sticking to the end. You're real. Thank you so much. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Alrighty, I'll see y'all next time. Bye.